Homesteaders, gardeners, and cooks, my name is Jennifer. Welcome to Miles Away Farm, or welcome back. Today in the kitchen we are using up the very last of the summer tomatoes. This is always a sad day for me. Come early November when the last of the garden tomatoes have been picked and we've gotten a frost, and so there's no more coming. And so this is what I chose to do with the last of them. I made a Manhattan clam chowder. My husband is not a huge seafood fan. He will eat it if I put it in front of him, but it's never something he gets excited about. And if he's gonna eat clam chowder, weirdly, he actually prefers a Manhattan clam chowder to a creamy New England style clam chowder. Basic chowders across the board are usually some kind of bacon or pork fat for flavor, and then potatoes, of course, and onions, and then usually creamy. I've done a lot of different chowders over the years, and usually you add some kind of creamy element or dairy. But Manhattan clam chowder is more like a seafood stew. And so it uses clams and clam broth, but it uses tomatoes as a base and the classic mirepoix, which is onions, celery, and carrots. And so that's what we're going to do today with some of the last of the garden tomatoes. How is the weather doing where you guys are? We have a sunny day today, but I have a feeling it's probably one of the last sunny days that we're going to get for a while. We've had quite a bit of rain, and I expect more rain to come. We're all kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop in terms of the weather getting chilly and deep into November. But right now, I'm grateful for the sunshine. Manhattan clam chowder. Let's get started. All right, like most chowder recipes, this is going to start out with some bacon. This is 4 ounces of bacon that's been diced, and I cooked that down until it was crispy. And then into that bacon fat, I'm going to add my aromatics. And so this is onions, celery, and carrot. I'm going to saute that until everything is translucent and starting to get tender. And then I'm going to add 3 cloves of garlic. And just stir that until you can really smell the garlic. A couple of bay leaves, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, and a half a teaspoon of chili flake, optional of course. And then I need about 1.5 pounds of diced potatoes. These are potatoes from my own garden. I can't remember which variety this was. And then to that, in order to cook those potatoes, we're going to add our clam juice. And so I've drained off my 3 cans of clams, and I ended up with about 2 cups of juice from the clams themselves. And then I had purchased an additional 8 ounces of clam juice. The original recipe called for 5 cups of clam juice. I wanted more of a stew and less of a soup, and so I just did 3 cups total. Bring that to a simmer and let cook until those potatoes are getting tender and starting to fall apart just a little bit so that it makes the sauce a little bit creamy. Now we're ready to add in everything else. So I need about 4 cups of tomatoes, and I just pureed these homegrown tomatoes in the blender. I just didn't have the patience to dice them up. So I just threw them in my blender. This is the equivalent of about a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes if you're using canned. And then our clams go in. And this was a mix of baby clams and clams from Bar Harbor. And then our bacon also goes back in at the end. And then we're going to put in some fresh parsley. So this is about 1/4 cup of fresh parsley. And I didn't film serving this up. I had a friend over for dinner and I got distracted and forgot to film the actual dishing up. I did taste this for salt. I think I added about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I wasn't sure how much it was going to need based on the fact that a lot of the ingredients were already salty. And then because the tomatoes were not super sweet, I ended up also adding a little bit of sugar, about 1 teaspoon of sugar, and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, just to kind of up the umami because it felt kind of flat. But at that point, it was just delicious. Thanks for watching, Tribe. If you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment, and share. I have new content coming out every week.